It is 11:11 on Saturday, November 20th. Happy birthday, Aunt Peggy. Happy birthday, Aunt Peggy. Happy birthday, Aunt Peggy. 95 years old. 95. 95 years old. We sang happy birthday, we talked, we listened. She's great. She lives in a beautiful home in New Mexico, and I love these. And I love these. I wear them. I walk around, I'm like, I'm going to put my roots on. I'm getting back to my roots. I did. I got back to my roots and hung out with cousins in New Mexico today and messaged a couple others, and there's a lot of them. So, and started to make a collage. A Frida Kahlo collage that I'm digging hard right now. But I did not even go turn this on. Hello, everyone. Let me just edit the privacy really quick. Done, 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 and then edit the post. And let me do this really quick. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. I went to the wrong page. Hello, 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 hello. Let me do this. Doing a little, what is it they say? Doing a little housework here. We're doing a little housework here. Saying something about the show. And my mom and I are watching the movie It's Complicated. Have you ever seen it? It's Complicated with Alec Baldwin. I didn't mean to do that. And Meryl Streep. And Steve Martin. I love this movie. I love it. We started to watch something else, and then we thought, let's just watch this movie. Hello, Julie Luce. Hello, William D. Hello, Rob Morocco. Hello, Carol. What are you guys up to? What's going on? How's your big Saturday night? Little Pellegrino in my favorite cup. Thank you, Dave Love. Speaking of Dave Love, on Tuesday, we start the show at 11 a.m. I'm going to sit there and talk. People want to pop on. I think Mama Grace is going to pop on in the first hour. And then Patty Lohman will be on. And then somebody. And then it's community hour. And it's what's cool about that is on the West Coast, it'll be 11:11. So hoping that some of you West Coasters can jump on at 2:11. Jeff Metzger around 2:30. And then 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, Michael Teach, 5 o'clock, can't remember, 6 o'clock, don't know, 7 o'clock, Gina Melita, 8 o'clock, Fusion, 9 o'clock, Melanie, 10 o'clock, Dave Love and Corona Roki, 11 o'clock, party. Speaking of parties, it's sort of like what we do on Saturday nights. One more Saturday night. Hold on, you're going to get an extra little 11:11 there. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, NorCal. What's going on? New York.
You know, New York in the house. I am in the house. I'm quite literally in the house.
The house, and that's quite a nice hat you have going on there, sir.
Old Cafe du Monde. Can't wait till I'm there again.
But in between, my friend.
In between, I'll be other places. So
yeah, is it booking up for you?
Yeah, my new passport just arrived, so that really kind of seals the Mexico deal.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go. Congrats.
yeah. And that's
Hey, Jeff Metzger Newport in the house.
Jeff Metzger. Man,
See you at 2:35 on Tuesday, Jeff Metzger.
I kind of assumed that today's 11/11s morning and night would be just, wall to wall, me and Jeff Metzger obsessing about Bruce Springsteen's 1979 No News concert thing. But then this movie announcement got dropped. This and the world is going nuts over it, and it's pretty funny. I'm very amused by the whole thing. So
well, okay, let's start with the movie then.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with the movie.
I mean the not the No Nukes movie. Let's start with this. I don't think I can see it.
I think I absolutely can and absolutely have to. And
well, you have to.
Well, no, not out of a professional obligation. It's a Martin Scorsese movie.
I know, but why didn't he just make a Grateful Dead movie then, or Jerry docu movie?
Well, there's already been all that stuff. I don't know. People are assuming.
Jeff wants to know if Jonah Hill is in the house. Is Cher here? When's Martin going to do a movie about Cher?
Cher is just lurking. Cher's lurking. She's always here. Cher's a lurker. I suspect she watches 11/11 religiously every week under a pseudonym. But the thing is, this thing sort of, it's too, well, first of all, no one really knows the details of this thing yet. I don't think the script is written yet, and people are making giant assumptions about it, like what it's going to be.
Who's going to play Bobby?
Someone said Brad Pitt today, and I think perfect.
I would like to see Brad Pitt in those purple shorts.
Yeah, many people would. But
I think I prefer Bob.
I think the casting, like the casting games people are playing, are so hilarious. There was that one meme that went around that I forget who all the actors were, but Jane Lynch was Phil, which totally cracked me. Right.
Which kind of works.
Jane Lynch can do anything. So
Jane Lynch could be Phil Lesh. Totally.
Right. Someone said Tilda Swinton should play the whole band. That would be good. Because Tilda Swinton can do anything. Here's the thing. This movie's going to get made, and there are creative choices to be made about how to approach it. And we don't know. See, no one has said yet that it's just a Jerry biopic. People are jumping to that conclusion because Jonah Hill's name is attached to it, but it could be a more general Grateful Dead story. I'm thinking it's more like that. And here's the good thing about casting Jonah. Well, first of all, I think Jonah Hill's a terrific actor who's been underrated.
He is a good actor,
but the thing is, actors, that's what actors do. They act. They embody a role if they're really good. Jonah Hill, he's been so brilliant in comedy, and especially playing that nerdy guy in the Judd Apatow movies, that he very early on he started showing other things he can do. And in Moneyball, as the assistant general manager, he was wonderful. And in Wolf of Wall Street, he was freaking spectacular. So I don't really have fears about him pulling it off. What I like about Jonah Hill doing that role is it gives permission for the movie to be funny. And I want this movie to be funny. I don't want it to be reverent. I don't want it to be, Jerry as the martyr. I don't want it to be the tragic junkie story, which is, where a lot of this stuff goes. It's really, I mean, Clint Eastwood's Bird, to me, is the ultimate case of good intentions gone bad. When that movie got announced, I thought Clint Eastwood, he loves jazz. He bankrolled a movie documentary about Thelonious Monk. He will have a feel for this, and he chose to make the tragic junkie movie, which is the least important thing about Charlie Parker. That movie does not have like one bit of the thrill of bebop being invented to it. So
And he had a huge opportunity to make that happen.
yeah, so if you have a chance to make a Grateful Dead movie in which you have just the rush of that era of the psychedelic era, and these guys having an incredible time and making this breakthrough music, you have and you can mix in the sadder stuff, but it's a matter of proportion. It's a matter of emphasis.
I just don't want to. I have my moments with Jerry. I have my many times, I mean, just like being backstage or being right there. I want to remember him as, and if in Jonah, it'll like pop into my head and I'll go, no, no, no.
No, Jerry's indelible.
I
I
know,
mean that, and the thing is, this movie is not going to make one bit of difference in the way people perceive Jerry Garcia. It's not going to be the definitive to anything. Let me say, there were two movies in the 1940s, Pride of the Yankees and the Babe Ruth story. Pride of the Yankees about Lou Gehrig, the Babe Ruth story, kind of self-explanatory. Pride of the Yankees is kind of a classic. It's probably not historically 100% accurate, kind of sentimentalized, but Gary Cooper, who really didn't look or sound anything like Lou Gehrig, but that's okay because he projected this nobility. Great movie. The Babe Ruth story is an absolute piece of crap. Just awful, embarrassing, doesn't capture who Babe Ruth was in the slightest. And you know what? It didn't make a scratch in how revered and how beloved Babe Ruth is. And Babe Ruth is at least as titanic a figure in America iconography as Jerry Garcia. Probably more so. So I don't worry about it. Now, Scorsese is a really interesting choice of director.
totally.
And it could go really badly. He could not get the tone right, or he could get it incredibly right. So I'm just, make the movie. Let's see what happens. I mean, they need really good technical advisors and script consultants and people,
Hey, maybe you
who,
could become a technical advisor.
oh, I've already thrown my hat in the ring, believe me. I would like to be one of the eyes and ears on this movie, but yeah, I'll sit down with Marty. I'll set him straight. But it's the fact is, it really, it won't make that huge a difference in the great scheme of things. It'll either be a great movie or a pretty good movie or an honorable failure, and it won't put a tiny dent in my memory of Jerry. The thing about biopics, I mean, the really tough thing about biopics in this era is they get harder and harder to make as there are more people around who have a visual perception of who a person was. Easier to make Abraham Lincoln biopics because no one ever saw a recording, or a newsreel clip of Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
The closer you get to contemporary portraits of people, and then you have to, is the performance of the person an embodiment of them or just an impersonation?
Well, I just saw one of those, when you get stuck in something where you go, ooh, they lead you on and say what the 23 people, and then you have to slide, and then you have to slide and slide.
Yeah.
This one was what people in history actually looked like.
Right.
And
Right.
I got through like 8 of them, and then I went, oh, I can't do this, but it was interesting to see.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a tough one because
Yeah.
we were in
I
the
mean,
same room.
yeah. One of the performances that, I mean, Jamie Foxx as Ray was astonishing.
Great.
The movie had its problems. It had its bits of cheesiness, but that performance was like both. He nailed every nuance of the way Ray
He was
talked
a musician
and
also.
moved. Yeah, he is a musician. He understood how to
Jonah
portray
Hill's not a musician.
Maybe he is. I don't know. But that's actually, you can get around that. You can
Well,
get
of
around
course
that.
you can.
Yeah.
But he had, I mean, there was that's why that, and that And again, I just have my visions that I like. I just want to keep there.
Well,
But if
you know,
Jay Lynch plays Phil Lesh, I have to watch it.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, or Tilda Swinton, I don't care. But
Then she's
um,
the whole band, so then it
yeah,
would.
of course, for me, like there never has to be another music biopic made after Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, because
Love
that
that
is
movie. I love
that
that.
that is literally, if there was a just world, it really would be the music biopic to end all music biopics, because it takes them all and mashes them up and totally demolishes the whole genre. And I really just I like I said, I hope Jonah being involved gives it permission to be funny. I'd like it to be on the absurd side of funny, because that's the Grateful Dead were absurdists. They weren't these holy people that people set them up as, and that's, if they have fun with it, I'll be happy.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of 11, Tuesday is the 1111th show.
Yes, yes, we are
Everyone
aware of
start
this.
shouting it out on your pages, please. Please, please,
Mhm,
please.
mhm,
Tuesday, all day show. Feel free to shout it on your radio shows if you have one tomorrow
mhm.
or anywhere else in the world. Kids, Rob Morocco, if you have anything to share with us, let us know. So I got these groovy mitten gloves
I like them very much.
from the Moroccos, and they
Oh, the
have
Morocco's
magnets.
rock.
They have
Oh, that's
they have
right.
magnets to hold it this way, and then you can take them off and put the magnet, and they connect, and you don't lose them. Right?
Incredible. Incredible. Genius.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
Canadian.
yeah.
They're Canadian.
They need mitten gloves up there.
Yeah, but they're made so great because they're Canadian,
Yeah,
and they have
yeah.
nice suede palms.
Mm-hmm.
How?
Fabulous.
What's your weather? What's going on?
Today was gorgeous. Like
Pretty day.
autumnal air was crisp.
Um,
Um, yeah, it was not really cold, but just a nice kind of cool, uh, beautiful skies. Yeah, it was a nice day. I actually saw some of the eclipse. That was nice. Um,
I've seen a few of those now. I have seen like
yeah,
three
yeah,
or four of them. I think I've
yeah,
seen four.
yeah. Well, here was like starting at like 3 or 3:30 in the morning, and I just kind of woke up. It was like, the moon,
No,
the
it's
moon
time.
whisper. Yeah, the moon whispered to me. Yeah,
Super cool to see Jason's triplets checking out the moon.
yeah.
Triplets. We have a very good friend that I think he's coming on Tuesday.
Nice. With the triplets?
Well, I would love the triplets to have their own show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about, oh, I'm sorry. Rob, can you pop on and show us? That would be great. Jeff Metzger just said, so far, so good, guys. But what about Bruce?
Yeah,
Carry on.
he's okay. Bruce is okay. He's all right. Yeah, he's good.
Carry on.
He's got talent. The guy's got a future. Um, does Jeff have anything specifically he wants to ask, or he just wants
I
me to
think
just,
about the film.
yeah. It's everything you hope it'll be. I love that it's the whole. It's not the whole set. It's a composite that adds up to the whole set, from the two nights, and it's it's totally thrilling. It's just got this incredible intense energy to it. It's interesting in that, you know there are things noticeable about it that it isn't exactly like a Bruce show of that era, because it's Bruce at the end of a 5-hour show, where James Taylor was on first, and Jackson Brown was on, and Tom Petty was on, and all these people were on. Uh, and then Bruce just comes and just blows the roof off the place anyway. But it's more compact. It's within an hour and a half, so it's sort of condensed cream of Bruce soup, rather than the way a Bruce show has all these incredible peaks and valleys, this is like mostly peaks. It's almost greatest hits, except he sang The River for the first time that weekend. But yeah, the band is spectacular. He's spectacular. They were coming off a little layoff. They finished their Darkness on the Edge of Town tour at the end of 1978, and then had that whole year off until September. So if you were at the concert, and I was the second night, you felt like they were a little rusty. The editing of the movie is like such that they sort of eliminate like little breaks between songs where there was a little bit of getting things fixed and getting things dialed in. But yeah, it's really well made. They made it different enough from the footage that's in the No Nukes documentary. They used the first night take of Thunder Road rather than the second night, which is the one that's in the movie. So if you've seen the No Nukes movie, you're still getting new content. And it's here's something I really loved about it. I was totally exhilarated watching it, but I did not get lost in nostalgia for that moment. I mean, there are Bruce fans who will tell you, everything after 1978 was downhill, that, that was the absolute peak. Nothing was ever better or ever will be better. And I didn't think that at all. I thought, he got better. He got more nuanced at singing these songs. He found the depths within the songs. The thing about him when he turned 30 the night of that show that I was at, the show was September 22nd. It turned midnight about midway through his set. And so he turns 30 right before our eyes, which was like a big deal to him. He was like very uncomfortable with it. He thought he was over the hill. But the fact is that because he's still, he's just getting out of his 20s, there is this ferocious, raw energy to everything. But when I hear those songs, the way they play them, then it feels like they're kind of just powering through them, which is great because the power is astonishing, and it's Madison Square Garden. He's got a New York crowd at the palm of his hand, and all that stuff is great. But as I've learned from other bands and other artists as they get older, if they pull it back a little and they find the subtleties and they find the shadings in those songs,
the space.
Yeah, and that goes back to the way I've been feeling about the other old guys that I know. I think they're doing some things with more depth and nuance. So and I also would infuriate Deadheads if I said that too often. But
hey, we have a special a news bulletin. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Morocco would like to join the Zoom party on 11 with Jenna and Gary Lambert. We have mitten, we have glove. Hello.
Hello.
Are you ready to
Morocco?
Yes. Oh yeah, you know what? After the blizzard today and the cold, it's just about there. It's nearly ready for Morocco. So
that on what's going on? How much snow do you have?
we probably just have a few feet on the ground. It's still snowing.
Just a few.
But you know what? Unlike probably Michigan, especially New York, this snow when it comes down, it's here till April, May next year, possibly. So
like few meaning 3, 5?
No, a couple feet. Like if it would be, I could show you a snowman in the backyard that's probably a few feet high, but it's at least a couple feet, I think, piled up. So it's coming fast.
Just said it's going to be 85 in Laguna Beach tomorrow.
Laguna Beach? Oh my God. I'll just because my dog will go nuts, of course. Let me do this flipper.
Outside, is she?
No, she will be. So So yeah,
Ah,
it's a winter wonderland, and I got to go shovel it again. So
All right. Well, we won't keep you. Do you have something cool?
yeah, I'm just going to show you. It's a rendering. I was going to send it to you for editing and effect and changes, but and I was going to do it just quickly via Zoom. But last time it was a gong show with the sound. So, and I just threw a character in at the very end because one of your guests is on the show right now. But let me show you from here. It's still, like I say, and you can change it, but there's, just a limited.
Yeah, I'm gonna just like let me get my big pen out here. Let me get
Oh
it.
yeah, no, well, I'm going to send you the rendering and there's going to be a lot of changes because there's a lot of placeholders. So, but I'll show you what I have. Let me just flip this
I can do
goofy
it.
camera. It's my standard weirdness. So I'll just play it off my doing so many things with it. But yeah,
Are you
my
sure
dog.
Chloe's not outside?
No, 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 no. As soon as she saw I went out to the door, she thinks somebody from Amazon is here or somebody's at the door and she's like, where is he? Skip the dishes or something. But anyway, this is what it is at this point. Millions of changes still. Can you see it okay, first of all? Or do
Yeah.
you need me to do
Well, no,
this?
you were good. Let's
That was
see.
yeah.
good.
Wait. What are you doing?
Is that okay like that?
What's the other thing we're gonna do?
I was just going to turn it sideways.
Let's see what happens if we do. Oh, that's bigger. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I can do this if that
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I got this cued right at the beginning. And
It's great.
take one, action one. No guns or props were used in this video, so we're okay.
YouTube. And that's Gary Lambert at the end.
Yeah, I one sec, I'll just switch this around. Somehow my phone goes
That's
nuts.
so great. I love the front.
Yeah, and I threw Gary Lambert dancing at the end, so because he was on the show. But there's
Well,
a bunch
thanks.
of things to do, guest times, what you want, and I can add slides galore and change it, and then render it into video, and then we'll plop it out.
Cool.
Or something similar to that, but anything to kind of just catch it, right? So,
And I love your hat.
yep,
Where's mine?
I'm like the hat man of the century here, so I've got
Love the hat,
a
man.
million hats. So,
Let me get a hat. Hold on a second. I need a
Got a
hat.
hat.
so I'm gonna take Gary Lambert here. So let me go to scene 4. Oh, sorry. Scene 5. Okay, Gary. Jumping with a trophy because of all the good work you did.
You're a good
Love it.
dancer. We
Or
need to
because
get
it was
Patty and
COVID.
Melanie in there too.
Yeah, I had her on the Melanie on the list. So when it scrolls down a bit further here, I think I can pull it. I just threw a bunch of characters in,
Well,
kind
you're
of thing.
blowing air kisses, Gary.
Sneezing, it says, so. But thank God he didn't have COVID, so he was okay.
She's sick. No, we don't want him sick. But we might want Jeff Metzger sitting in the dentist chair.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know what? That's what I'll do. But I'll find a dental chair and get him in. And some of the guests, so I'll add a couple slides. You don't want it to get too long or people are not going to just kind of snap at it. So, but either way, I'll do a rendering to you. And when I finish up a few things and then you say change, get rid of, adjust, and it's good to go. So that's it. I'll escape because Gary's a heck of a lot more important than the Morocco from Canada.
Not at all.
Absolutely.
I know, Carl. Fusion has been animated. Isn't it cool?
That's great.
Did I get your hair right, Carl? The red hair, but
It's it's a little longer though.
it's well, I know that's the longest hair it had in the program. So let me just go to, and I'll see if I can just do the snapshot of Carl. So, oh, staring at my face doesn't work. There you go, Carl. So,
That's awesome. Look at us walking down the street.
and you know, I couldn't get. I had to go in the picture to find Troy Gilliam, but they don't have like more husky or bigger or smaller people. It's kind of like the same. So,
Yeah, we're all
so
really thin. I love it. I'm thin and like super tall.
yeah, in cartoon world, you guys are absolutely thin.
But Tim doesn't have any hair now. But he might like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can edit and remove the hair, but I didn't want to, so I just put a hat on him instead. So, but they do have the things, a little bit of beard here for, but
Yeah.
I can remove the hair, but it's up to Tim. So
That-
anyway, all right, I'll let you get back to the show that was in progress. So
Thanks, Rob. That's great.
thank you guys.
Thank you, Rob. Standing ovation. And I liked how it said you were sneezing, but I thought you were blowing kisses. So, what'd you have for lunch today?
Well, my brother's here now, and
Right. Have you
and
guys
I'm-
started doing stuff?
oh God, yes, it is.
Really?
So it's such a massive undertaking.
Hmm.
Although today, actually, well, first I'll get the lunch out of the way. I made burgers, made excellent burgers. But there is so much to be done and so much to determine about how to go about putting the house on the market, how much to put into the house before we put it on the market to spruce it up a bit. You don't want to put so much into it that you kill, that if someone's just buying it as a tear down, which is eminently possible in this economy and in this neighborhood and just the way things have been with real estate. I would hate that. I really hope someone buys it and loves it and makes it a home, keeps it a home. But you can't know that really. So we are going to make at least necessary repairs and cosmetic changes. And then we're just going to kind of like get a feel for the market. This realtor was really cool. He's just really, really analytical of the way things are and the way things can be. And we thought it might just be seen as a tear down. Someone might just like want to pounce on it and get it somewhat cheaper so they can tear it down. But he actually held out hope that he thinks that the house still has enough appeal to it that so I mean, I'd much rather hit the lottery.
Probably sell in a day and a half,
Yeah, I'd much rather hit the Powerball and keep it myself, but the odds are not entirely great. But it's really, but so the past few days, my brother got here on Tuesday night. So since Wednesday, we've just been excavating and finding all these things that were meaningful to our parents and like letters and it's very emotional and it's very, but it's also there's that thing of purging. There's that thing of these are things that represent it's not them, it's these things, it's these artifacts. So we're going to see what we're sentimental about and what is worth retaining and what we want to give away, what we want to keep in the family. And it's massive because it's 66 years of accumulated stuff, including stuff of mine going back to before I moved to California, stuff of my brother's from when he was in college, so all these layers of personal history. And and it's insanely intense work too, going through everything and making sure you're not.
Good thing you had a burger.
The burger was helpful. And so that's the task. And he's going to be here a while. He's staying through Thanksgiving and then a little bit into December. And by the time probably early December, the realtor is he's got some contractors who he thinks can give us, the best possible deal on doing what needs to be done to the house to make it a little more desirable. So it's going to be really interesting. I mean, I've never done this before. This is, I've always been a renter, and now I'm only an owner because this fell into my lap.
Because
So
it's a family home.
yeah. So it's intense. But it's, and then I'm thinking more and more about my next move, the big move, So
And you're gonna, you're gonna keep some stuff and you're gonna take some stuff with you, and
yeah,
your really
yeah,
busy place, wherever it is, if it's in Queens or Brooklyn
yeah,
or
yeah,
wherever.
yeah. Probably,
Kayak.
yeah, probably the first step I'll have to do would be put a bunch of my stuff in storage.
Julie
You
Lou
know,
just said that. Can you rent a small storage unit to
yeah,
place things in that
yeah.
you aren't ready to part with yet?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's definitely part of the agenda. And then it'll be, maybe find a short term, either a sublet or, like I have friends who have like offered me a spare room in their house temporarily. I have options, I could go to California for a little while, I could do a number of things, but it's the situation will kind of reveal itself.
And is your brother is the intent to have it all ready to go when he leaves?
Oh, no. I mean, he'll probably make some more trips back through. I think it'll probably really hit the market in spring.
Oh, good.
That's
Oh, okay.
that's
So not like before the new year. Okay. All right.
yeah. I can't imagine it happening before the new year. Just in terms of logistics, in terms of everything else that's going on during the holidays, in terms of it's better to put a house on the market when the weather's getting better.
Right.
So we'll see. I hope, and that also gives me like a few more months of reprieve. So
Yeah, because then you're going to be in Mexico in January.
yeah. That's 5 days, but it's going to be 5 really nice days. So
That's really cool. And I think, is Jeff going to be there the same time you are? There's two
I
weekends, right?
yeah, I can't remember what we said about that. I'll be there the second weekend, which was the originally scheduled weekend. And then when they added a second weekend, the second weekend became the first weekend. So kind of confusing. But yeah, I will be there the second weekend, and we're now working out the logistics of whether we can webcast live from there, do the live stream.
Oh,
I hope so. Well,
because it's Mexico.
yeah, it's difficult. Apparently, I mean,
Yeah.
Nugs has to decide if they can really pull it off, if the servers will be robust enough to service all the people who want to watch it, or if they might record it and offer it on a delay. We don't know yet, but we'll see.
Cool. So
It would be real.
that's your job now for the next while, is what you and your brother are doing.
Doing the house stuff, and I'll keep doing the radio, and I'll actually have more work coming in from Rhino pretty soon. The same stuff I was doing with the Dead Company stuff that they offer for download. So there will be a little infusion of work, I'm thinking, early in the new year. So it'll,
But are you and your brother, are you planning any epic meals in the next while? Are you having Thanksgiving together, the two of you, or are you going?
Thanksgiving at my cousin's on Central Park West, yeah, which is an old tradition, which of course got interrupted last year.
It did.
And I don't know. I guess they were just too lazy to get a damn turkey. It's going to be a smaller one than usual. I mean, they've got this gorgeous apartment on Central Park West, and they've had as many as I think 30 people there. And this is going to be a little pared down, and I'm honored to be part of the real inner circle of family. So that'll be cool.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What are you doing next Saturday night?
This is a fairly volatile period as far as the obligations and everything, but I think I'm reasonably certain. I cannot say 100%, but I would say a better than average chance that I will be on 11/11.
Well, they were excited before you even said it.
I know.
Sorry. Guys, just stop the clapping so quickly.
I think that was sincere applause. I
So
appreciate it.
so I saw the movie because Jeff gifted it to me. He sent me a link.
Okay.
When did it come out?
Which movie?
Is it out? Is it going to be the No Nukes? Is it going to be
Oh.
in the theaters?
No, I don't think they're.
Just release.
Yeah, they put out the streaming version on Tuesday,
That's what
and then I think this weekend the box, like the actual physical DVDs or Blu-rays are out.
Oh, okay.
And then it'll be available for rental as well. So yeah, but I just outright bought the stream so I can watch it anytime and have it on my computer and watch it on the way to Mexico.
Cool. And who's on your show tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow is actually it's it's an opportune show for talking about the movie, the big movie announcement, because we're already having a filmmaker on. This guy Alan Arkish, who's probably his best known film work is Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones.
Oh wow.
But the cool thing about Alan Arkish is he started in music as an employee of Fillmore East. He worked as, I think he started as an usher, and then he became a stagehand, and then he worked with the light show, and then he became a movie director, and he made Rock and Roll High School. And then in 1983 he made this movie called Get Crazy, which was inspired by his experiences at Fillmore East. And it is a movie that like vanished almost without a trace, and then has never been out on DVD or anything like that. And it's now just finally getting an official home video release. So he's going to come on, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about his days at Fillmore East, and I imagine we'll talk about the Scorsese movie with him as well, because I'm sure he'll have opinions.
Everyone will.
Yeah.
Well, I would invite you to jump on Tuesday if you feel like it. Anytime, if you have a minute, just come on and say hi. And
yeah, I'll have to see.
I know you're busy.
Yeah.
But if Saturday night you can't make it,
I'll keep you posted.
All good.
I'll give notice.
It's all good. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you again for being a part of this story and hundreds of nights and
we
hanging out and being here with me at big nights, birthday parties, and mom's birthday, and
we've been part of each other's story for a long time. Yeah.
Cool. It's really cool.
And long may it continue.
Long may it continue. Cheers.
Love you.
I love you too. Have a beautiful night. Say hello to your brother.
Maybe do you need a letter?
Come on sometime.
You never know.
You never know. He's a radio guy.
Mm-hmm. You need a letter?
I'd love a letter.
Let's say J for Jonah.
J for Jonah, oh my baloney. J for Jonah, he's got his own going on, and I say I will go, maybe, maybe not, but you know I got a lot. So J for Jonah, have a good night, and G for Gary Lambert, you're out of sight. So everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and be real nice, and have a good Saturday night. You got 2 more minutes on the East Coast, so I'm so glad to be your host, and I'm so glad to have my co-host Gary Lambert. Now it is one more Saturday night, yes, one more Saturday night. Oh, so I know I gotta get back to the Joe. Yes, the Jonah, J for Jonah, and I'll say There's gotta be just the best thoughts and joy from your words and a most jubilant heart. Rum-bum. And there you go. Love hard.
Real hard.
Good night, everybody.